Oh, like this. It's such good quality. Well, wait, no, well, look at the beauty of how big that is. That's what I'm like.
Welcome everybody. My name is Carol Cloud Bailey. If you weren't at the meeting Tuesday night, we had a wonderful time, and now we're going to wander around this wonderful landscape. We are on the grounds of Treasure Coast Hospice. Let me introduce Carla.
Hi, good morning. Thank you all for being here, and we're very, very fortunate to have the garden folks support us and the Native Plant Society here today. And my name's Carla Zimmerman. I work in the executive offices and just enjoy being here on a Saturday. And we really appreciate you all and supporting our mission as well in the community.
We're going to do a couple of things. We're going to walk over this way and back around. We're going to look at what's very interesting native landscaping, at least the placement of native plants, handmade. And then we're going to end right here, under the care since 2007. Actually 2004, she tells me, of Jean Foley, who has taken a small little section here and turned this whole section into a pollinator garden. What we've got here is a wonderful little garden walk, and another way that you can kind of reduce some of your turf area. Now, of course, we cannot not talk about this tree. This is Tabebuia impegnosa. We call it Impy. And it's purple tabebuia is another common name for it. Not so much a great pollinator. It does this about once a year, but isn't this spectacular? It's non-invasive in this form, and it's about finished. You should have seen it last week. Just absolutely beautiful. This is Plumbago. It's also called leadwort because it's one of the true blue flowers. It's a great plant. The only problem is it's more of a vine than it is a shrub. It's what's called a linnaea. It wants to send out big, long runners, and it wants to be a nice mounding shrub. And so putting it where it has to be clipped like this, you don't get as many flowers on it. So it needs a little bigger location. Again, non-invasive, and let it kind of mound and hand trim it. So that's your right plant, your right place situation. This is the common, well, it used to be the scientific name, is now Aceloraphe wrightii. When I saw these, and they're looking pretty good, though if you look up at them close, they do have nutrient deficiencies, not unusual in a landscape like this, but they're very green because one of the things is this plant likes a lot of water. So if you have a moist area for it, it's a great place for it to grow. My guess is this gets a fair amount of irrigation. Now here's the other thing is, it's one of the true clumping palms. It's going to send up all of these low shoots. Why we have so many tabebuias in and around Stewart?
Oh, is that maybe planted by the mayor or somebody?
Anybody?
I can't take the name.
Dr. Menninger.
Yes.
He was considered the father of tropical flowering trees. He was a plant explorer along the range of Fairchild. Full of leaves. That one has no leaves. Is that natural? Yes. Yeah. Most of the tabebuias are semi-deciduous. They drop their leaves when they get ready to flower, and these haven't gotten ready to flower yet.
And Carol, does it flower in the spring? Or?
It does. It's probably going to be several weeks now, and these will burst into bloom. So if you have to have a border, this area is wide enough And they've got several layers that they could have planted groupings of 5 plants and created a buffer versus a hedge. The only problem is it doesn't look square like many HOAs want it to be. This is a native plant. What is it? This one, not this one, this one.
Simpson stopper.
This one. It's what?
It's a Simpson stopper.
Absolutely, Simpson stopper. And if you get up and look close, you will find it has guava rust and mites. So the guava rust are the little red spots, which you can't see. You're going to have to step up here and look for them. And the mites are when the growth is really short and small, and it looks like somebody ran sandpaper on the leaf, and that's exactly what happened. Mites have raspy mouth parts. They abrade the plant tissue underneath the leaf, and so little sections of it lose chlorophyll or die. Now, neither one of these are going to kill this plant, so you can decide to live with it, because it doesn't look that bad with guava rust and mites. But here's an example of a native plant that has pests and diseases. The other thing I want you to look at before we move over in here is look at all, we've got oak trees here.
This one's not this one. Is this an oak tree behind us?
Yes.
Yes, so they're all.
Well, not all of them, but there are
Many.
a lot of oak trees. And so the question is, this isn't an oak tree, it doesn't look like an oak tree. What's our native oak? One of them is live oak. What about laurel oaks? What about turkey oaks? Myrtle oaks. So here's the thing about oak trees. They're promiscuous. They crossbreed. And often we get from the nursery, we get plants that are hybrids. So when I'm evaluating these trees, I call them oak species because not a one here has a characteristic of being a true live oak.
Sometimes called Florida lilac because when it blooms, it is wonderful. Once in a while it will get caterpillar problems, but neem oil seems to work if you have to. But I love it because it is a native tree, and I think it's reached its mature level. I don't know if you native people know, but I've had it in here for since 2007. It will bloom.
Yes.
It will bloom. It's called Florida lilac when it
This
blooms.
is the, I had a question about the little white annual down here. Bees love it. It's alyssum, and that's the honey smell that you're smelling.
That is sweet alyssum, and
Is
it's
what
not
that
a
is.
native, but I love it.